So let's talk about actually like the tech stack that we're using today. Of course, AI changes so fast that by the time you're watching this, the actual tools won't matter as much because they're going to be different. It's more the principles that matter, and this is how you're going to keep up. Right now, I'm using Claude Code. I pay for the maximum subscription. I think it's like $200 a month, purely because it saves me so much time and so much energy and makes me so much more money than $200 a month. In my opinion, it's worth it. I think they have like a $20 a month plan. I would highly recommend it. I'm not affiliated. I make no money from you getting it or not. This is just what I'm using at the moment. I use Claude Code, and there's basically like tools that Claude Code can use. One of them is, for example, hyperframes. Another one is vMotion. Another one is FFmpeg. These are all tools that an AI can call in order for it to complete a certain task. So what you do is you basically tell Claude Code that, hey, I'm trying to do this process. I'm trying to build a workflow where you can help me create animations from scratch. Here's what it looks like for me to create an animation. First, we need to actually look at the source footage. We need to transcribe it. We need to get ideas based off of that. And we go through all the steps until we actually have an animation. Because what you can then do is have a different tool that the AI calls for each step. For example, for actually watching the video, how does an AI know what animation is going to make sense here? Well, it has to take in the footage. How does it do that? We can use FFmpeg, which is essentially like a code-based way of editing a video, like trimming. It can size things up. It's basic, but you can do it through code, which AI works very well with code. You don't actually need to know any code. For example, I don't even know how to do the whole like hello world thing. I know nothing to do with code, but I know that FFmpeg uses code to edit. So that's going to be used to basically trim the section that we need. Then I use OpenAI Whisper. There's a paid version which is using API, but if you run it locally, it's actually free. So I use that. That basically transcribes it, and now we have a section of a video with text that's super accurate. Then we need to now ideate an animation for this. That's when we pull that transcript and those images into an LLM like Claude, and we basically ask it like, hey, based on this line, based on this, and based on like this style guide that we've created, type up like the description for an animation. So it'll talk about the colors, it'll talk about where the things are positioned, etc. Then we take that and we put it into something that can actually create a design. By default, Claude, as of now, cannot create images and it cannot create essentially like scenes. But it can call a different tool to create that. That's where things like vMotion, which you may have heard of, you may not have. Hyperframes is another thing that's similar to vMotion. In my opinion, it's better right now. But essentially, we put that output that the LLM gave, the large language model, Claude, ChatGPT, whatever, it gave that description of an animation. We feed that into Claude again, and we tell it use hyperframes to create this animation. Then, once we've gotten that, and that'll usually take care of the depth effects, the textures, the composition, the assets, all of that good stuff. Once we've gotten that, that's when we actually feed it back into itself and we get it to check its own work. How are we going to do that? We use FFmpeg to actually take screenshots of the video it's created, and then basically like this is how I personally am doing it. I give it the training within my own coaching program. So like I take my own course, I turn it into training because that's what I literally teach editors to make better scenes. I just give it to AI to know what a good scene looks like. And then I tell it, based on this training and these principles, give feedback on this edit. And then we take that output, we feed it back into the AI saying like, hey, good stuff. Here's the things to change and here's the things to keep the same. And then we create another output. And it does this until it has at least a 95% confidence that this is a good scene. And now we've got an animated scene. If you're a freelance video editor and you want to get more clients, I've got something for you. It's a completely free outreach tracker. It's the same one we use with all our coaching students, and it's going to allow you to be able to send more messages to potential clients, get more replies, and also be able to close them at higher rates. So go get that free tracker in the description. After you signed up for it, I'm going to send it straight to your email. I'm going to give you a bit more information on how I personally help video editors. So if you do want to get more help, you can apply there. But whether you get my further help or not, just go and get the free tracker for now, because at least you're going to be able to run this on your own for a while.